Good morning, Tokyo. Hi, my name is Valencia. I am a makeup artist and I like to talk about movie reviews. And today we're not talking about a movie. Unfortunately, we're talking about a video game, and that video game being The Last of Us. I live in a time where I can do whatever I please. And this is my channel, so I talk about my favorite things. And right now, my favorite thing, well, for since 2013, my favorite thing has been The Last of Us. Hit me out. I don't think The Last of Us is one of those hit me out games. I really don't. The only Last of Us 2 is. And that's because it was a bunch of homophobes playing it, and it was like, Elias gay? Of course Elias gay. Everybody knows that. So, while I talk about this beautiful masterpiece of a video game, I am going to do my makeup. Turning myself into a zombie. Yes. A zombie. Let me off my tree. Also, it comes to my attention that a lot of people would like to know how I do this stuff, and I figured I'd make it more of a tutorial. I've been doing zombies for years, so it's like intuitive for me, but it could be difficult for you. I'm gonna go over the products I use, yada yada yada. Stay tuned. So, like 6 years ago, I ran out of Mehron Latex, and I've been using this, which is from Walmart. It's Monster Liquid Latex. Any liquid latex would do. This is what I have on hand, so this is what I'm going to use. You can go out, you can buy the expensive stuff. Honestly, I'd spare $1 or $2 for the spend. I'll spend $1 or $2 extra on the expensive stuff because it doesn't burn your eyes. The cheaper the latex is, the more it's gonna burn your eyes. Like when you put it close, and the stronger that ammonia smell is. Like the ammonia smell in this is super duperly strong. Always avoid eye contact, like contacting your eyes. Don't put it in your eyeballs. Try, like some looks you have to put it close to your eye, but try not to put it on your actual eye. I mean, I feel like that's common sense, but some common sense ain't very common. If it gets stuck in your hair, it's gonna rip it out unless you use like soap and water or be very, very, very gentle with it. I mean, I've lost some hair in the process of doing all the stuff that I've done over the years. It's grown back, of course. It's hair, it's gonna grow back. But it's very painful. So always use a remover of some type. I rip mine off. That's just me. I don't care enough to try to be gentle. I want it to be off of me as quickly as possible. That's my disclaimer. Another product that you're gonna need some cotton balls. You're gonna need some cotton balls. Anyone would do. Okay? Any cotton ball will do. Just as long as it's a cotton ball or a cotton pad or even tissue. You just have to have a separate medium to rip apart. I used to use tissue like this. If I can find the picture, I'll put it right here. This is my first zombie look. I did it for homecoming one year, and I used lash glue, a mixture of lash glue, toilet tissue, unused, of course, and foundation. And I made myself look grotesque. And I feel like I want to go back to my roots on this look. I might do something elegant, but I'm not really. I can't get my microphone to stay in place. Sometimes I feel like it sounds grainy when it doesn't. Hopefully this will work. Oh, if you didn't watch last video, I talked about Carmen, the hip opera, and I just did a full glam look, and it was pretty tight. It was pretty cool. I learned how to do backgrounds. I learned how to do thumbnails. So Hopefully the thumbnail looks a little better than they were looking. That should look like a YouTube thumbnail. So if you haven't seen that, click icon, iCard. What is it called? Click the card. It's right here, over here. It's one of these corners, one of these corners, one of these corners. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Let me know what movie I should watch. Comment. Like the video. Share the video. Worship the video. Love the video. Let's get started. I said it twice already. Let's officially start, okay? I'm gonna take my latex and pour some onto, I got this from Dollar Tree. You can get one for Dollar Tree, or you don't even have to do that. You can just put your latex in a cup. But I'm bougie. I'm real bougie about it. It's about time for me to get some more latex. When I go to Spirit of Halloween, they about to start opening up. Yeah. So first things first, get your cotton ball, unravel it. Which is why I say you can just use cotton rounds, whatever you have on hand, tissue, because you're gonna have to strip it up. Dip your latex, dip your cotton round into the latex, get it nice and saturated. So the Last of Us video game, it's awesome. If you haven't played it yet, I highly recommend. I give it a 10 on the scale. A lot of people have a lot of things to say about it, and that's okay. So about 10 years ago, The Last of Us released, 2013, and then, or no, I think it came out in 2011. They did the remaster in 2013, something like that. Aww. I played the remastered version, and it was a beautiful, beautiful game. Well, your first character you're introduced to is Sarah, and you find out it's Joel's birthday. She stayed up all night to get him a gift, or wait for him to come home so she can give him his gift. And that's what she does. And then she just gets sent to bed. She gets sent to bed. We wake up at like 3 in the morning, right? I'm just putting the cotton on my face, stretching it out, getting everything in. I said that a lot. I don't even know what that means no more. So it's 3 o'clock in the morning. She's looking for her dad. She gets woken up from God knows what. Like, we're not privy to that information. But it's the beginning of the apocalypse. We are in search of our dad, Joel. Good old Joel. And we leave our room, the safety of our room, and you can travel the house on the top level, or you go downstairs and hear his ringing phone. Like, and then that's when Joel rushes in like a jump scare moment. Yeah. I hate sticky stuff being on my hands. I don't know why my choice is to use latex always. I always use latex. I think I'm gonna do a split lip. I'm gonna try to do a split lip. I said I was gonna make it as normal as possible, but I'm gonna try to do a split lip. This is what I have so far. Make sure it doesn't get in my hair, because it is hell to get out of your hair. Be careful about that. Like I told you, put your hair up. I didn't tell you that. Put your hair up. You don't want it to get in your eyes or your hair, because it will rip it out. Your hair, not your eyes. I don't think it's gonna rip out your eyes. If it gets in your eyes, rinse your eyes out real good. and call somebody, call the police maybe. I don't know. It's beyond me. So at this point, it's like a bunch of chaos going on. Joel rushes back into the house and is like, get away from the windows. He's not explaining what goes on. He's like, the neighbor, he went crazy. And so that's the moment when the neighbor comes. He breaks the patio door and breaks into the house, and Joel shoots him. And she's like, oh my God, you just shot whoever. I forget his name. He wasn't an important character. And then that's when Joel gets in touch with Tommy. That's his brother. And they hightail out of there. Same as the film, as the show. I feel like the show was very accurate. It showed a lot of the stuff. But we're not talking about the show. We're talking about the video game, because I refuse to watch the show. I just can't emotionally handle the baggage that comes with Sarah dying in our face again on the TV screen. I'd just rather her live forever. So I watched the beginning of the show. I did, but I turned it off when it got to this part. So they're trying to escape the city, right? It's like everything has gone to shit. Like there's farmhouses on fire. People are on the side of the road being attacked. Things like that. They're trying to escape the city. But they can't. Because everybody had that same idea. So they go into town. And they're riding around, avoiding obstacles. With people being obstacles. Before finally they have this wreck. And Sarah breaks her leg. And then you switch to Joel. You play as Joel from this point forward until he gets injured later on in the game. So hold on, let me saturate this real quick. There'll be a lot of editing out of this. I gotta saturate. And I gotta think about how I'm gonna do certain things. Placement counts when you're laying down your latex and cotton. That counts. But I feel what counts more is your paint job. I mess up a lot. I put stuff in places I don't want it to be later on. I mess up a lot. But then I cover it up. You'll never tell. It'll look all purposeful. So my recommendation to you is to look at references, draw out what you want it to look like, and then do it. It's going to take practice. You're not going to get good at it just off the bat. And then full transparency. A lot of my looks I edit before I post. I don't think, not too much, but it is like if my eyes are darkened or something like that, yeah, it's been through a layer of Photoshop. I don't own contacts, so in order to get that fear-mongering look that I'll be looking for, I have to use it. I want my nose gone. Yeah, we're gonna make the nose gone. Ready for my nose ring. So from this point forward, we're playing as Joel, the main character. We're hobbling through the streets. We got Sarah in our arms. She had a broken foot, I think. Something. She just couldn't stand, so we had to carry her. We split up from Tommy because he's trying to hold back the zombies that's chasing us. So we split from him, and we're on our own. We go through this diner. There's zombies. We go up this hill. There's a zombie that comes out the ambulance that's right there, and it chases you as you go up the hill. And then you think that you found you think you're about to die. Then it goes to a cutscene, right? It's a soldier. And he's not supposed to be letting people out of the city. He talks on his radio about survivors, and he gets some kind of order. To which he says, "But sir, there's a little girl." You try to plead your case, it doesn't work. And he sends off a few shots, hitting Sarah. He comes to finish off the job, but Tommy comes to save you. The intro ends with Sarah dying. And you go to the title screen, The Last of Us. Very bittersweet moment. In the title screen, if you care to listen, they are talking about how the virus spreads. It all comes from, and this is like something that is real, a cortisoid.
No!
Fungus. You know the fungus that turns ants into zombies, so it can get into like birds and shit. That cortisoid fungus. I'm just building up area around my nose so it'll look like I don't have a nose. Probably gonna make a new mouth too. So Joel is awakened, and we can look at his domicile. Not very nice. Not very nice. It's run down and everything. And you're introduced to Tess, his partner. In the show, they have it as if they're dating, but I don't think they are. It's never really specific in the game, like what their relationship status was. It wasn't about them anyways. It was about the journey, baby. I have a lot of facial piercings that I should have taken out before I started doing all of this, but that's okay. It'll be alright. I'm not putting nothing directly on them. So I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm either gonna, why it looks so dark? I'm gonna let that dry, and I'll be back in a second. Okay. Tokyo, I just realized that my microphone was off. Hopefully I got some footage with it on. I don't know. I don't feel like going back and watching the videos right now. So as I was saying earlier, when it's yellow, it is ready to be worked on. I put on some translucent powder with a fluffy brush. That's what all that white stuff is. So we're introduced to Tess. She is a phenomenal character, just a strong woman, strong white woman. Would have been liked her better if she was an independent black woman. But that's just me. We don't play as Tess at any point. As a matter of fact, Tess dies pretty early on in the game. But her storyline is she got jumped by some thugs, right? And they took her cash, and it was some food carts and some guns. Because in this world, in order to eat, because they're on like a military base, so in order to eat, you have to have ration cards. So she was getting some ration cards and some guns, something that is not readily available to the public, but they're grifters. Joel is a grifter. This stuff is optional. I used to, when I first started, I used to put the liquid latex, I used to mix my foundation with it so I could skip this step. That's completely up to you. Or you can skip this step altogether because you're going to put a bunch of stuff on there. So it's not necessary that you actually use foundation, but I just do this. But it is important that you powder your latex. So she got stolen from, and she's like, we gotta go get our stuff back. So I should also say, there's this group called Fireflies, right? They are a liberation group. They don't like the government. Government ain't did no good for them, so they turned their back against the government and their own liberation group. It tells you in the opening title that they have been fighting for years. At this point, it's 30 years in the future. Joel is about 50-ish, maybe 60. He's pretty up there. But this nigga is bad as fuck. I don't want to ruin the game for people, but like, it's been 10 years. It has been 10 years. Either play it or don't. That's my opinion. Hopefully I can get you to play the game. And I hopefully interest you in the second game. So I'm just going to rip some holes into the latex and cotton to make it look like my skin is not skinning. Like that. Probably should have waited for my foundation to dry. Yes, it's normal for your latex and cotton to be hard to rip open. That's just the natural qualities of them. And just why you can do a lot of sculpting with latex, baby powder, latex, cornstarch, and cotton. You can do a lot of sculpting with that. Maybe one day I'll make a video like that, showing you how you can do these things. Now that I've made as many holes as I'm gonna make, time to move on to the next step. So the Fireflies is this organization that has been terrorizing the government since the outbreak, right? They just want equality. Government's not too nice to people, and they don't like that. So I got me a beauty blender. I'm just gonna pick off the parts, just to make these like gnashes in it. I'll show you in a second. Don't worry, I've had this beauty blender for like a year now. It's time for me to get rid of it or use it for something else. And I made it look like that. So, you remember, I am gonna go into the darkest color of my palette, the Bruise palette. Actually, let's focus on something else right now. Let's take this black. This is Mehron Mask cover. Let's get a little funky little brush. I use a stippling brush, or use a different brush. You know, one don't work, one will. My Mehron palette has completely dried out. Instead of the Mehron palette, we're going to be using the Wet n Wild Grease Pot in the shade black. Just put that where my mouth and nose is. So a bunch of shenanigans happen, right? And they are sent off to protect this little girl. Her name is Ellie, and the boss lady she was a friend of the boss lady. Her mother was a friend of the boss lady of the Fireflies, right? And that's how they knew each other. That's how she got into Firefly. Other than that, she's just an ordinary kid going to school. Like, she's in a prep school, military prep school. They were like speeding them up the chain. That's kind of stuff that the Fireflies were fighting against. They were kind of doing. I'm going to take my red on a concealer brush this time. I'm going to place it in the spots that I feel like it. So that means on the forehead where I made that hole. Can you see the hole right here? I'm just going to fill my holes with red. And the crevices with red. That's enough red. I'm going to take my beauty blender again. I'm gonna dip it into my second darkest color on the palette. Start with the bruisings, just to break up the skin, make it look disgusting. I'm gonna go back into that red, put that everywhere else, or put it in the same spots as the other colors are. Make it look like a bruise. So this zombie, I feel, is gonna have some issues going on with it. I'm gonna try to get my green and yellows to work, but we'll see. We will see. Come on, our friend. There we go. And I'm gonna draw with a little tiny little brush. If I can find one. There's one. Pretend you didn't see that. Need something angular. With more angles. Hijinks happens. They have to escape the city, but there's a twist. Nobody can escape the city. It's prohibited. Nobody enters, nobody leaves. That type deal. And you see how that like kind of messes up their plans of getting her to the other fireflies. They simply can't. And then we find out Ellie, that's little girl, actually is compromised. She's been bitten. It doesn't say it in this story. In Left Behind, that's when you find out she was bitten. How she was bitten and she didn't turn. So I highly recommend playing that DLC too. Very beautiful. I'm just drawing little veins. I have one right here. I literally have a vein right here I can follow. I like yellow better than green. It's blood time. So I have several forms of blood that we're going to use. I have this blood, which is scab blood, coagulated blood, and this blood, which is meant for your teeth. I showed you one. This is coagulated blood. They all look the same. This is scar wax. I hate it. I hate it. So first things first. Oh, I don't have teeth. Yeah. Never mind to that. I'm gonna use this blood. It is edible. It ain't nothing but corn syrup. I'll teach you how to make your own blood eventually. But it do stain, so be careful. But where's my stage blood? You know what? Don't matter. So the game begins there. You have to take Ellie to this facility where a doctor will test on her and see why she doesn't change. Very beautiful game. Shenanigans happens. I'm not gonna ruin the game for you. I ruined the movie for you, but I'm not gonna ruin the game for you. You run into these different types of zombies. You have creepers, or you have clickers, and then oh my god, that's a lot of blood. Well, it sure had a good run. That's enough of this blood. As long as it don't get on my carpet, I'm cool. It can get everywhere else, but on my carpet. And one more form of blood. The coagulated stuff. I should put on that mouth blood. I changed my mind. I'm gonna wear the mouth blood. So I'm gonna get me one of these cotton rounds and clean my teeth. I'll be right back. So clean out your teeth, get your mouth blood. I'm the only person that used this product. It tastes like those sticks that we used to use back in the day. The best thing stick. The garlic. So shenanigans ensues. You go through a bunch of things trying to get Ellie over there to this doctor. But in the end, they want to kill her, and Joel just isn't ready to let her go, and so he doesn't. Instead, he kills everyone, including the lady from the beginning. I skipped a lot of parts because I got finished with my makeup too fast. But it's more of a you gotta play it type thing than I explain it to you and you enjoy it off of that. Oh, things that I love about this video game, and it has so much replayability to it. You As I already mentioned, the art designs are so beautiful. Hopefully, I can insert a picture here talking about it. The music, probably copyrighted, but the music is so relaxing. Like you're entering into a whole different world. It is a beautiful, phenomenal game. And I highly recommend, again, anyone and everybody that's willing to listen to me, watch this film. Play this game. Anyways, this is how you do a basic zombie. I got some stuff going on that you can't quite see. But hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye.